Now when we talk about intonation, we're basically checking that the guitar stays in tune at all points along the fretboard. So the best way to do that is to play an open note and then fret that note at the 12th fret, so you're playing the octave of it. Now you could do that if you play at the 1st fret, and then you could jump up to the 13th fret, check the octave. What we can see here is this E is at the moment the open and the octave aren't quite in tune. Now let's picture your guitar from the side with the string going from the bridge over the neck and to the nut. Now where it goes over the neck we've got the frets, and the 12th fret is what we call the octave fret. The 12th fret should be exactly half of the length of the string. Now that exact length of the string varies depending on the scale length that you're playing. So for example, a guitar has a shorter scale length than a bass. Now I've talked about scale length before in other videos, and I'll link to them in the description below, so I won't go too much into scale length now. But regardless of the scale length, your 12th fret is always your octave fret, it's always the midpoint of the string. Now imagine you're holding down at the 12th fret. What's going to happen when you pluck your string is you're going to vibrate the bit of the string between the bridge and your finger at the 12th fret. And that piece of the string, because it is exactly half the length of the entire open string, will play the same note as the open string but an octave higher. I hope you're with me so far. Now imagine you haven't got your guitar correctly intonated. Maybe the problem is your guitar string is a bit short because your bridge or the saddles on the bridge are a bit closer to the 12th fret than they should be. This will mean when you hold down the 12th fret and pluck it, what you're finding is you're plucking a bit of string which isn't quite half the length of the guitar string, and it will sound sharp. Conversely, if your bridge was too far back and you plucked your string is now going to be slightly longer past the 12th fret to the bridge than half the length of the string, and that will make your note slightly flat. So my bass E string, just tuning it here. My tuner says that's in tune. Now I'm going to play the 12th fret, and it's actually slightly sharp. Ideally you should do this in the playing position, but for filming it's much easier for me to do it like this. It's actually harder to play it like this though. So it's slightly sharp, so because it's slightly sharp it means I need to make the string slightly longer by moving this saddle backwards. For the Tune-O-Matic style bridge, it has a screw here, which when you turn it moves the saddle backwards and forwards. Now, as I'm about to make the saddle go backwards and the string a bit longer, it's actually going to put a bit of tension on the string. So I'm going to detune it slightly, make it a bit looser, while I extend the saddle into the back position. Ideally you do this in the playing position. Alright, let's go forward, here we go. I'm lifting the string slightly so the saddle doesn't just rub across the string when I'm doing it. Now that might be too much. Let's play it open again. Again, my tuner says that's in tune. Fret it at the 12th fret. There we go. So what I'm going to do is do that for all the strings to check that both open and at the 12th fret they're playing a note that's perfectly in tune, the octave is in tune. If you wanted to go into real detail on it, you could do it at other frets, like trying the 3rd fret and then jumping up to the 15th fret. Just checking that it's totally an octave each time. That's what the intonation is, checking the octaves. These saddles you can adjust individually. Don't forget there are certain things about your setup which are going to be personal to you. The action that you have might change depending on the style you're playing, or even amongst a couple of different guitars that you own, you might have slightly different actions. Things like the intonation, however, they are set. You have to get the intonation perfect to keep the guitar in tune as you move along the fretboard.